and welcome back to Actual English. I'm Jennifer Clyde. It's time for lesson 322, and we're continuing with English language. It's time for part 2, and let's focus on swearing today. Swear words. What are swear words? They're bad words, often even called bad language. So swear words are words that people use especially to express anger, okay? It's not proper language. It's not proper language. We're talking about bad words, curse words, okay? Bad language. We'll talk a lot more about today's topic today. But do you swear a lot? Do you use many swear words? I don't think it's a very good habit because once it becomes a habit, once using swear words or swearing becomes a habit, it's really, really hard to stop using these bad words. I've seen plenty of elementary school students, very surprising, elementary school students, even middle school students, even adults that have the habit of using certain swear words before almost every single sentence. But yeah, if it has become a habit, I'm sure it's a very hard habit to break, but we all should try to use beautiful and proper language, right? Okay, let's start then. Here is our first segment, Actual Talk.
I was walking down the street the other day, and there was this adorable little girl and her brother, and they were singing an American song together, and they knew all the words, including all the swear words. And I just my heart was kind of crushed.
Yeah.
Like as I see this adorable, they have no idea what they're saying. They don't have any idea about the impact of the words. But it was so innocent, but I was still kind of angry at them for using that type of language.
Yeah, it's a tough one here because when you see English as a second language countries nowadays, they hear it on the radio all day long.
Right.
And because of the language that we use in English Western songs, especially rap music and stuff like that.
Rap music's horrible sometimes.
Yeah, there's just filled with profanities, and it comes across to here, and people don't understand what's going on, and they're dropping these words all the time.
I mean, how would they know? We can't expect them to know that this is a bad word and this is not a bad word.
Yeah.
It's just all part of the rhythm.
How is it in terms of bad words in the US? What's it like? What's the propensity of it?
I think it really depends on your family. My mom, I've heard her use 3 bad words in my entire life.
Wow.
My mom never swears, ever. And when she did, that one time she was mad at me, I was like, oh my gosh, the world's going to explode, just totally freaked out. Whereas my aunt, she's kind of has a potty mouth. And so I see her children also using this vulgar language freely. And I think I don't want to say it's bad to use it, or no one should ever, I don't want to say no one should ever use it, but I think it's important to be able to turn your filter on and off.
Yeah.
It's very unprofessional. Yeah.
You can't ever use it in the workplace. There has to be a context to use it in, and it's something that should only be used as a last resort, I think.
Right. And it's difficult to teach that.
Yeah, definitely.
I always thought that Mary was the type to use proper language. I can't imagine her using swear words. Can you? She seems so polite and so ladylike and so gentle that I totally believe her when she says that she does not use swear words. There was a time in the past that she said that it was something about the world exploding and she got in trouble. Her mother got very angry at her for saying those words, which aren't even swear words. But that goes to show how much Mary doesn't use these bad words, or swear words as we also call them. Anyhow, let's take a look at the actual talk conversation. Here we go. Mary says, I was walking down the street the other day, and there was this adorable little girl. This very cute, sweet-looking little girl. And her brother. And then what? They were singing an American song together. So they were singing a song together. It was not just an ordinary Korean song, but it was an American song. So this sister and brother, these little, this little girl and boy, they were singing a song, an American song together. What was the problem? And they knew all the words. They knew all the words to the song, the lyrics, including all the swear words. Okay. So here we have swear words. We're going to practice it in today's pattern, so I've put a star in front of swear word. Swear word, okay, as I've repeated myself over and over and over again, we're talking about offensive words, bad language, curse words. These are all other ways of saying swear words, okay? But what was the problem? They were just little girls and little boys, okay? A little girl and a little boy. They were singing an American song, and they knew all the words to the song, which was amazing, but this was the problem. They were singing the swear words in the song as well, the bad words, okay? So she says, my heart was kind of crushed. What is she saying? What does crush mean? C-R-U-S-H. You can crush something. Let's say, for example, you can crush a cookie, okay? You can hit it. You can beat a cookie so that it becomes, I guess, all small crumbs. So crush something means to break something into small pieces. It can also mean to injure, okay? You can crush your knee, which means to really break your knee bone into bits and pieces, into very small pieces. But if you say that your heart was crushed, you're saying that your heart was injured, okay? Pain or force was done to your heart, meaning that you are feeling pain. You are heartbroken, okay? To break your heart means what? To feel pain in your heart. So she's saying, my heart was kind of crushed. I was hurting. Oh, it was painful. I was heartbroken because, as I said, they're adorable. They have no idea what they're saying. They have no idea of the impact of the words, how powerful those words are. We're talking about swear words. And she says, it was so innocent, but I was still kind of angry. She was angry at them for using that type of language. Do you understand what she's saying? I think I do. As an adult, you see little children using language that they shouldn't be using, but you're still angry at them, even though they are saying words they don't have any idea, words they don't know the meaning of, okay? So you're angry at them, but you're angry at society itself as well. I think that is what Mary is trying to explain or express here. Well, here we go. Martin says, yeah, it's a tough one here. Because when you see English as a second language countries, we're talking about countries that use English as a second language, okay? They hear it on the radio all day long. That's right. We see English, we hear English on the radio all day long. And because of the language that we use in English Western songs, especially in rap music and stuff like that, it's just filled with profanities. Okay, so he's talking about how certain words are filled with, how certain songs, like rap songs, are filled with profanities, okay? Profanity or profanities, often used in the plural form, it's just a formal way of saying swear words, bad language. Okay, so basically what he's saying is, it's easy for people to listen to hear. They're open to English language, proper and improper language. So it's natural for people to learn them easily, okay? We hear it on the radio all the time. We hear bad words or swear words in rap music, in music that we enjoy listening to. Anyhow, moving on. It comes across to here. Come across means what? To encounter, to meet, okay? To find by chance. So he's saying, people happen to just listen to it, learn bad language, and people don't understand what is going on, and they're dropping these words all the time. Okay, let's take a look at this. Drop these words all the time. What could this possibly mean? Drop words all the time. Of course, you can drop something on the floor, okay? If I were to drop this remote control on the floor, I would just let go of it and it would drop to the floor. But when you're talking about dropping words, we're talking about expressing words, usually, okay? Very casually. You're just mentioning words, spitting words out, okay? You're expressing yourself in words, very casually. So it means to say, okay? Drop words means to say words. So people are dropping these words all the time. They're saying these words without thinking much, very casually. And then Mary says, I mean, how would they know? Okay, how would children know? Or how would, people that speak English as a second language or learn English as a second language know? We can't expect them to know that this is a bad word and this is not a bad word. Okay? It's just all part of the rhythm. So she's saying just people, they tend to learn these swear words naturally, very naturally. How is it in terms of bad words in the US? Okay, now Martin is asking Mary about how bad words or swear words are used or thought of in the States. He says, what's it like? What is it like? What is the propensity of it? Okay, bias, okay, what do people think about it? And she says, I think it really depends on your family. Yeah, it depends on your family. It's different depending on each and every family. It's not all the same. It's different. So she says, it depends on the family. My mom, she tells us, I have heard her use 3 bad words in my entire life. Now, I'm not exactly sure how old Mary is, but I would believe she's in her 20s or late 20s. Okay, she's married. She even, has her own family. So she's saying in her entire life, up until now, since she was born, she has only heard her mom say 3 bad words or use 3 swear words, which means she rarely uses bad words. And she says, my mom never swears. She never swears. She never uses swear words. And when she did that one time, she was mad at me. I was like, oh my gosh, the world is going to explode. So this is what Mary said, okay? And her mother got really, really angry. So this is the only time her mom got angry and swore, okay? Or used swear words. She says, I was just totally freaked out. She was scared, okay? Her mother frightened her. Whereas my aunt, now she's talking about her aunt, she kind of has a potty mouth, okay? What is a potty mouth, okay? If you say you have a potty mouth, he has a potty mouth, you are saying that you or he, these people use swear words all the time. Potty is what? Another word for toilet, say for example, okay? Toilet. So if you say that somebody has a toilet mouth or a potty mouth, you're saying that he or she has a dirty mouth, uses bad words or swear words very casually all the time. So she's saying that her aunt kind of has a potty mouth. She swears a lot. So I see her children also using this vulgar language freely, very comfortably, very casually. So her aunt uses many swear words, and so her children use many swear words as well. Now, vulgar, we're talking about offensive words, all right? I don't want to say it's bad to use it, or I don't want to say that no one should ever use it. So she's saying, I don't want to say it's bad to use swear words, but I think it's important to be able to turn their filter on and off. Turn their filter on and off. It's very unprofessional, okay? So what is she saying right now? Turn one's filter on and off, okay? Very similar to turning a light on and off. It just means that one should be able to, or one should be responsible enough to think about which words are proper to use and which words are not proper to use. So filter those words out. Think twice before you drop those words or spit those words out. Okay, that's exactly what she's saying. Okay, and then moving on. Martin says you can't ever use it in the workplace. You cannot. You cannot use it in the workplace, at your office. There has to be a context to use it in, okay? It is something that should only ever be used as a last resort. It should only be used as a last resort, he says. Now, we did take a look at last resort. If you say as a last resort, you are saying as a last choice, okay? You try A, you try B, C, D, E, F. You try everything possible. But if you fail every single time and you have no more choices left, yes, maybe you could use it as a last resort, as your last choice. So that's what he's saying. If you have to use swear words, use it as a last resort, only if you really have to. And Mary says, right, and it's difficult to teach that. Perhaps teach people, especially children, and yes, he does agree. Okay, so I hope that you learned a lot through today's actual talk conversation. We did have long sentences, and yes, Mary and Martin had a lot to talk about. So let's take a listen to the actual talk conversation carefully one more time.
I was walking down the street the other day, and there was this adorable little girl and her brother, and they were singing an American song together, and they knew all the words, including all the swear words. And I just my heart was kind of crushed.
Yeah.
Like, as I see this adorable, they have no idea what they're saying. They don't have any idea about the impact of the words. But it was so innocent, but I was still kind of angry at them for using that type of language.
Yeah, it's a tough one here because when you see English as a second language countries nowadays, they hear it on the radio all day long.
Right.
And because of the language that we use in English Western songs, especially rap music and stuff like that.
Rap music's horrible sometimes.
Yeah, there's just filled with profanities, and it comes across to here, and people don't understand what's going on, and they're dropping these words all the time.
I mean, how would they know? We can't expect them to know that this is a bad word and this is not a bad word.
Yeah.
It's just all part of the rhythm.
How is it in terms of bad words in the US? What's it like? What's the propensity of it?
I think it really depends on your family. My mom, I've heard her use 3 bad words in my entire life.
Wow.
My mom never swears, ever. And when she did, that one time she was mad at me, I was like, oh my gosh, the world's going to explode, just totally freaked out. Whereas my aunt, she's kind of has a potty mouth. And so I see her children also using this vulgar language freely. And I think I don't want to say it's bad to use it, or no one should ever, I don't want to say no one should ever use it, but I think it's important to be able to turn your filter on and off.
Yeah.
It's very unprofessional. Yeah.
You can't ever use it in the workplace. There has to be a context to use it in, and it's something that should only be used as a last resort, I think.
Right. And it's difficult to teach that.
Yeah, definitely.
Here we go with actual expressions. Are you ready? Okay, let's review the words we've learned in today's actual talk, as well as the patterns, okay? So here we have crushed. We were talking about how Mary's heart was crushed. We're saying that her heart was broken. It was hurt, okay? She was heartbroken. Profanity. Here we go. Profanity. It's just a formal way of saying swear words. We also call bad words, swear words, 4-letter word or words, swearing, or even swear word. This word is often written as one word or even 2 separate words. We're talking about bad language, offensive words or language. What about drop? Drop in today's actual talk meant to what? Blurt, to speak. Okay, just utter words. Just spit out words very casually, okay, without even thinking sometimes. Just spit words out. means to utter words or blurt or speak words, drop words. Propensity, here we go, propensity. We were talking about the tendency of something. So bias, disposition. Vulgar is what? Vulgar language, offensive language, profane. Tasteless is another one. Tasteless. If something is tasteless, it's what? It's better not to use. It's not delicious. It's very yucky. Okay, tasteless words. Vulgar. Here we go. Swear words. That is our topic for today. We're talking about offensive language, bad language. Curse words is another way of putting it. If I ever use swear words around my dad, he would wash my mouth with soap. Okay? This means I could never swear around my dad, or I could never use swear words around my dad, because if I did, I would get in trouble. He would drag me and wash my mouth with soap. Okay? All right, come across means to encounter, find by chance, to meet by chance. Okay? Whenever Kelly comes across an old high school photo, so in this case it means whenever Kelly finds an old high school photo, she puts it on every social media website. She puts it or posts it on every social media website. Moving on, as a last resort means as a last choice. After you had failed everything else, as a last choice means as a last resort. As a last resort, the doctor will perform my knee surgery. So, the doctor will perform my knee surgery as a last resort. So, what does this mean? The doctor will try everything possible. He'll try this, he'll try that, he'll try everything. But if everything fails, then he will perform knee surgery on me, okay, as a last resort. Okay, that is all for today's actual expressions. Practice them more on your own.